Sinuous, paranoid, and omnipresent. The single that made Michael Jackson the biggest star since Elvis spent 7 weeks at #1 and was a denial of a paternity suit. Jackson came up with the irresistible rhythm track on his home drum machine. He nailed the vocals in one take, and the result? Shattered records and solidified Jackson's superstar status for generations to come. This is the story behind the inspiration, production, and commercial release of one of pop history's most iconic music releases, Michael Jackson's 1983 hit, Billie Jean. Welcome to The Detail. The inspiration. During an interview, Jackson was asked about the inspiration behind the song. He replied, "There is a girl named Billie Jean, but it's not about that Billie Jean. Billie Jean is kind of anonymous. It represents a lot of girls. There were a lot of Billie Jeans out there. Every girl claimed that their son was related to one of my brothers." Although in The Magic and the Crazy, The Whole Story, Michael Jackson's biographer J. Randy Taraborelli promoted the theory that Billie Jean was derived from a real-life experience that Michael faced in 1981. He documents that a girl had written Michael Jackson a letter, claiming that he was the father of her child. Michael used to receive letters of this kind regularly, and he would just ignore them. But this woman continued to send Jackson more and more letters. She also stated that she loved him and they will make a happy couple together raising the claimed child. The letters she wrote were very disturbing to Michael, to the extent that he suffered nightmares. One day, Michael received a parcel from her containing her picture, a gun, and a letter. In the letter, she asked that Michael kill himself on a certain day and at a specific time, and that she would do the same once she had killed their baby. Michael was horrified, and he rarely spoke about this woman, but he had a very hard time dealing with this unwanted attention. The song was his way of expressing his feelings without addressing her directly. While Jackson didn't give many details about the real Billie Jean, his producer Quincy Jones said that Jackson found the woman one day lounging by his pool with a bathing suit and sunglasses on. According to Jones, she accused Jackson of being the father of one of her twins, which Jones thought was pretty funny. The production. In his autobiography Moonwalk, Jackson said that Quincy Jones wanted to change the title to Not My Lover because he thought it would be confused with the tennis star Billie Jean King. But Jackson ended up winning that battle. Quincy Jones discussed the song, recalling, "The intro to Billie Jean was so long you could shave during it. I said we had to get to the melody sooner, but Michael said that was what made him want to dance. And when Michael Jackson says something wants to make him dance, you don't argue, so he won." Michael Jackson says about this song in Moonwalk, "A musician knows hit material. It has to feel right. You know it when you hear it. That's how I felt about Billie Jean. I knew it was going to be big while I was writing it." He also recalled that one day during a break in a recording session, he was driving and Billie Jean kept going through his head. He was getting off the freeway when a kid on a motorcycle pulls up to him and says, "Your car's on fire." Suddenly, he noticed the smoke and pulled over, and the whole bottom of the Rolls-Royce was on fire. That kid probably saved his life because he was so absorbed by his tune floating in his head. The whole album was recorded with the latest studio equipment, but was done very quickly, with most of the work done over an 8-week period to meet a deadline. These time constraints forced Jackson and his team to be resourceful. On Billie Jean, they came up with a low-tech method for getting a distinct sound on some of the vocals. Jackson sang through cardboard tubes. When engineer Bruce Sweden was putting together the string section, he was aiming for a classical feel instead of a pop sound. He said, "I don't think there are any basses on those strings, but it was violin, viola, and cellos, and it was absolutely classical in the approach." The video. The music video was directed by Steve Barron, who was chosen because Jackson and Quincy Jones liked his work on the Human League video for Don't You Want Me. Barron's original idea was more complex and involved a group of dancers. With budget a factor, they simplified the concept and went with the idea of Jackson having a Midas touch, with the squares he stepped on lighting up. To save on set design, they used a technique where painted glass was placed in front of the camera to fill in the wide shots without building actual set pieces. You can see this on some shots where Jackson is on a sidewalk with a city landscape behind him. Barron remembered being in awe of the King of Pop. "We shot that first take, got to the end, and everyone up in the gantries eating their sandwiches, reading the paper, painters working on another set. just burst into applause. We all just knew we'd seen another era of superstar. The video for the song is often credited with breaking the color barrier on MTV. The video for Pass the Dutchie by Musical Youth was the first video by a black act to make regular rotation on the network, but they were considered a novelty with no member older than 16. Jackson's Billie Jean video was the first to make heavy rotation, and more black faces started appearing on the network soon after. MTV was accused of racism in this era, notably by Rick James, whose Super Freak video was rejected by the network. MTV was programmed by guys with radio backgrounds, who tried to program it like a radio station with a rock format. Record companies wouldn't budget for videos by their black artists since they didn't think MTV would play them. So the network could make the argument that they simply didn't have any good videos by black artists that were worthy. That argument went out the window when Jackson made the Billie Jean video. Despite the production value and Jackson's star quality, MTV didn't play the video until the song was already a #1 hit. Les Garland, who ran the network at the time, claims that they loved the video and played it as soon as they could. But interviews with executives at Jackson's record company and with others familiar with the matter suggest otherwise. In the book I Want My MTV, multiple sources who worked at MTV claimed that the network wanted to air the Beat It video first because Eddie Van Halen played on it, and the song fit their format better. Walter Yetnikoff, who was head of CBS Records, who Jackson was signed to its subsidiary Epic, recalls threatening to pull all CBS videos from MTV if they didn't play Billie Jean. He says he threatened to bring Jackson's producer Quincy Jones in on it as well, and the network acquiesced. When MTV started playing the clip, it was first put in medium rotation, then promoted to heavy rotation when viewers loved it. When the video for Beat It was delivered, that one also went into hot rotation. For a 2-month stretch in the summer of 1983, both videos were getting constant airplay, establishing Jackson as a video star, and his next video effort, Thriller, revolutionized the art form. The performance. Jackson performed Billie Jean on the television special Motown 25, Yesterday, Today, and Forever, broadcasted on May 15, 1983. Jackson wowed audiences with his moonwalk for the first time, wearing black pants, leather penny loafers, a black sequin jacket, and also for the first time his single white rhinestone glove, which at the time was a modified golf glove. In subsequent performances of the song, Jackson used similar choreography, and the moonwalk became his signature dance move. Motown 25 was watched by 50 million people, and Jackson's routine earned him an Emmy nomination. With the performance, Jackson reached a new audience and increased the sales of Thriller, which eventually became the best-selling album of all time. The day after the show aired, Jackson was called by his childhood idol Fred Astaire, who commended him. Another childhood idol, Sammy Davis Jr., had admired Jackson's black sequin jacket during the performance and later received it as a gift. Billie Jean has been recognized with numerous awards and honors. At the 1984 Grammy Awards, the song earned Jackson 2 of a record 8 awards: Best R&B Song and Best R&B Male Vocal Performance. The song and accompanying performances contributed to Jackson's legendary pop icon status. To date, Billie Jean is still in heavy rotation. It receives more than 250,000 spins per week, and the song is often seen as being most synonymous with the king of pop. Tune into one of our latest videos right here, and also check out our online store for our latest pop icon-inspired styles. Thanks for watching The Detail. We'll see you next time.